All right, folks, you didn't just get part one, you didn't get just part two, you're getting part three of our discussion here with Eric Andrews, Mr. Real Estate Extraordinaire. I can call him that because I've known him over 20 years, so I can pump him up about that kind of stuff. Yeah. All right, we're going to get into some of the growth mega projects and the impact here in Chatham County. Let's talk. There's been some major projects. Some of them are around. Some of them are, we don't know what's going to happen. Some of them, well, let's. Do you want to start off with Wolfspeed, Winfast, or Toyota?
I want to start off with, even though Toyota's not in Chatham County.
All right, let's start off with the easy one. Let's start off
because it's successful. They're doing well.
Okay.
And it's having an impact on Silcope prices, land prices in that part of Randolph County. I've sold a couple in Guilford County it's been impacted by Toyota, and that northwest corridor of Chatham County, the northwestern part of Silcope. Silcope is a big area.
It is, and it's a tight community. I love going over there, and they're proud of their community, and they're proud of their school. And so there's a whole bunch of good
Toyota's been successful. Wolfspeed, who knows?
Wait a minute, before we move on to Wolfspeed, Toyota's. What are they? Are they reached out maximum, or are they still?
No, they're going to expand.
Oh, they're expanding.
Yeah. So they're concentrating. Toyota, from what I understand, Toyota was a little bit ahead of the game. I think a lot of people were into the we're going to make electric vehicles,
right?
And Toyota said, you know what, hybrid's the way to go. And again, I told you I'm a big Consumer Reports guy. If you do a hybrid, that is like, I mean, if you do it all electric and the batteries go, that's an expensive repair. And, we know the cost of gasoline and just, 100% combustible or diesel. But if you do a hybrid of the two, that's supposed to be the most cost effective.
Well, you also mentioned Consumer Reports. I think Consumer Reports has found that Toyota hybrids and the Honda hybrids and a lot of the hybrids have a good reliability rate.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And so that is what Toyota is focused on, and they seem to be doing really well. I mean, Siler City, as soon as we think Siler City's like out from the ashes, it gets burned again. I mean, it's just, hopefully somebody will come in and do something with Wolfspeed. I mean, that is a lot of square footage under roof right now.
Yeah, and there's been rumors about what's going to happen. There's been rumors about.
I don't talk about rumors anymore. Right. I still have Chick-fil-A nightmares.
Well, Chick-fil-A is coming to Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow, I've heard, but I'm not going to be part of that rumor.
We're not putting a date out on that, but there are rumors about that.
Yep.
And don't ask me. All right.
And then we got VinFast, VinSlow. I guess that the writing's already on the wall there because they have a deadline that they have to meet, like first quarter or second quarter of 2026. They're definitely not going to meet it, and then everything's rescinded on them. So,
well, what I've heard on that is, Winslow, all the material, whether you read automotive news or any of those kind of things, it reached a certain point where my prediction is it's not going to happen. However, that land is a nice piece of land.
It's a great piece of land. It's a phenomenal location. They worked out all the eminent domain and road situations. That tax incentive package, now that it's been worked out in Raleigh, can probably be redone for someone else. So it's a great location and it has a lot of potential and, I guess sufficient workforce nearby. So we're hopeful that something will come.
I've gone out there and flown a drone, and there's a whole lot that's been cleared out and prepared for it.
Right.
My personal prediction is, something's going to come in there. We just don't know what it's going to be at. It's prepped and ready to go.
Right.
So, and I don't see Winfast going in there because the cars they were planning to do there, if you read the automotive news trade magazines, they're not the best vehicle out there. And that EV market, as you mentioned, has taken a nosedive. Your hybrid, and I think except for maybe Tesla and a couple other manufacturers, EVs aren't the thing they used to be.
Nope. I completely agree. Yeah. Disney seems like the real deal here in Pittsburgh. I think this Chatham Park thing has some staying power.
You think so?
I think it might do okay. Yeah, those developers were on the cover of TBJ this week as
Oh, were they?
Business
Okay.
People of the Year.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and so yeah, a lot of success there in Chatham Park. It's been fun.
Yeah, and Kurt's doing a nice job with the Mosaic area
Oh,
as
yeah.
well. They're building that out, and that's getting a lot more traffic going on over there.
Our Orange Chatham Association of Realtors is based there now at 79.
Oh,
West End.
79, yeah.
And we love it there.
Dustin and his wife Katie are doing.
They're doing
nice
a great job.
They're doing.
Yep.
I'll give them a compliment because I remember before they came in there, they had somebody from Raleigh who did not understand the Chatham County market, and
I taught a land class there last week, and we were scheduled to be upstairs, but we had too many people, and so they immediately said, "You know what? You need this big room," and they gave us the big room, which was really nice.
yeah, they're being real flexible, and that all opens up a whole bunch of opportunities. And actually, if you look at the future artist rendering, you're going to have a lot more build out around that area.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they were supposed to have a drone show that didn't turn out to happen because the cloud cover was at 200 feet, and they had to get the drones up to 800 feet.
I know they did one at the courthouse.
They did one at the courthouse, but this was supposed to be, I think, twice as long and a little bit more.
More drones too.
More
right?
drones, exactly. But the one at courthouse was a good experience. I just wasn't in a good spot to get good pictures or videos.
Right.
Okay, you mentioned Disney. Is the fact that you got Disney in here, and like I said, I'm seeing a lot more traffic on our Facebook page, on our
I'm seeing a
Chatham
lot more
Journal
traffic.
page. Yeah, and I mean, from what, over 1 million views a month, and 40% of them are from outside the county. Are buyers speculating on future growth in this area, or is there? And if they are, what things do they need to be cautious of, or is it kind of like, hey, if Disney's in there, that's kind of like a good sign for us to go in there as well?
Yeah, well, one of our most successful things, I sold half the block next to Hardee's to a development group out of Miami. So I worked with a local broker.
Okay, if I'm looking at Hardee's, when you said half the block, are you talking to the left of Hardee's?
Well, I sold them half the block. The broker, David Trevor, assembled even more lots to go with it. So they have pretty much the whole block under contract right now. That's going to be a major like mixed-use shopping center, apartments on top. I mean, that's the real deal. That's going to be like right to the edge of the sidewalk, parking in the back.
And that fits in with what Pittsburgh wanted to do, because I've talked to John Bonnets, and they're talking about trying to get more commercial.
And the main thing is they don't want anything taller than the courthouse. But what's unique when we see East Street and West Street, the topo falls away. So we're talking about, so they're like, well, we don't want, I think the courthouse is like 65 feet. And they're like, so
that's 3 stories.
Yeah, we don't want anything taller than 65 feet. But because the land drops, they might be able to go 3 or 4 stories for this project or whatever. So that was a local family that I represented it to sell those 2 buildings and then 2 lots behind it. And then Dave assembled a couple more lots and houses around it and everything. So that's going to be quite the project. And the town manager and Teresa have been absolutely amazing to work with. And Randy, everybody's doing a great job.
Yeah, I was going to give a shout out to Teresa and the town manager, because they are good to work with, and they're all into helping promote Pittsburgh, not just to folks from outside of the town.
I can't tell you what the difference is. Like I have all these, like I told you, I have all these different municipalities that I work with, and when I have a prospective buyer looking at one of my listings, and to have these people call and say, Eric, we really like this. What do you need? What can we do? To have that kind of level of cooperation with a town. I'm used to literally getting doors shut on my face when I come in and say, hey, what can we do? And we're like, we can't talk about it, This town is amazing to work with compared to some of the surrounding towns.
The skate park that went in next to the sheriff's office. I mean, that came about too. And it took a while, but it finally happened. And there was a lot of community effort behind that, and the town helped to make that happen.
Yeah.
Again, we were just talking about the fact that you're seeing a lot of traffic. What are residents feeling the most as to pressures, traffic, schools. And I know schools. I've talked with David Ham. He and I go to the same church together, and there's plans for additional schools because of the expected population growth. What are local folks, or what can they expect, or what are they feeling? Or I mean, we definitely have more traffic coming.
We definitely have more traffic, for sure. And I hear that a lot, complaints, whatever. I mean, our little downtown, you don't want to back out of downtown at 4:30, 5 o'clock. I mean, that'll take a...
Yeah, where are all those people coming from? I think I sat there one time and pulled out my video, and I'm sitting there going, okay, this is almost as bad as New York City traffic.
It really is, yeah. I mean, we're still a little bit of a commuting place. I wish there were more jobs here, and I think that will come in time. I mean, with rooftops, we'll have more jobs. People want more restaurants here. People want more shopping here. Be nice to have a movie theater here, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
Well, they might be gone.
I was going to say, the thing about movie theaters, you got to be. Yeah. I mean, we were down in Charlotte, and there's I forget the name of the area, but they instead of having a mall area, it's more of a community storefronts with apartment buildings above. So maybe we'll see more of that kind of stuff here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be a broken record here, but it's workforce housing, affordable housing. Being able to find housing at a price point that is affordable for the average income around here is still our greatest issue.
Well, I think one of the things I've talked with John Bonnets about, I talked to him about this a couple months ago, maybe changing the rules as to allowing a mother-in-law type of building on a property with a bigger building where someone doesn't...
They're pretty good about that. Auxiliary dwellings or ADUs.
Is that what it's called?
They're real good about that, but the density needs to change. Like people are like, oh, I don't want all these houses crammed together. Yes, you do. If you want to make them more affordable, that's what you want. And it has to be in an area that has sewer. We can't do that in our rural areas. Right. It has to be in either Pittsburgh proper, Siler City proper, or maybe Goldston proper. But those are the only places. I mean, when people look at that Cole Park area or Man's Chapel or Hamlet's Chapel or 751, that's not serviced by sewer, so you're not going to have it out there.
Oh, I remember when, Perry Harrison School was going in. I was on the water board, and there was the issue about getting water out there, and the fact that you have to loop it around, because if you have a dead end, that affects water quality.
Right.
So that was a big issue. It wasn't inexpensive to get water all the way out to Perry Harrison. So
no, I was just on the phone with a developer this morning, and just to loop the water through his property is going to be $2 million.
Is it? Yeah. And you got to do it, because if you don't, you get poor quality water, and you don't want that, and you have to you have to spend a whole bunch of upkeep on it. All right, let's get into folks. So yes, we're going to have more traffic. Let's get into the policy and planning relative to the planning board. You've been a member on the planning board for how many years?
Gosh, I don't even know. 5, 6? I don't know how many years it's been. I don't know how long it's been. Someone needs to tell me. Okay. When do I get kicked off? I'll tell you what, it was so humbling and everything. I went in there going, I know real estate, I've done development, George Lucier sat me down, and he's like, boy, you need to study. And you really do need to study. I mean, I came in the first meeting a little unprepared, and I was embarrassed. And George Lucier and Jonathan Smith,
you had to read.
They studied. They
had to read the notes that went out.
Yes, absolutely. And I make sure I try to do it on a Monday, but sometimes I do it on a Tuesday. I cut off half a day just so I can read everything and study it.
Well, that does make a difference, because I remember, yes, you had to prepare for it, and it was also important. The other thing, too, is one of the things I think the Chatham County Planning Board does a really good thing of is listening to citizens who come and express concerns, and the fact that you hear those concerns, and if the developer and their party doesn't do what they need to do, it's kind of like, okay, you guys aren't listening, so it's not going to happen.
I had an issue out in my neighborhood, and I had a bunch of my neighbors call me, and they're like, Eric, we really don't want this. What can we do? What do we need to do? And I was like, well, you need to come to the planning board meeting. And they're like, well, we have a petition. I was like, yeah, that's great, but it's not as powerful as actually being there. And excuse me, they had a lot. They had a lot that were ready to come, and the person was requesting a zoning change, and they decided to rescind because they knew so many people were going to be there. Our planning board is amazing. We all have our little pet projects and issues that we feel passionate
That's
about.
a nice way of saying you have your quirks and idiosyncrasies.
We have issues that are really important to us and everything. So mine is I don't want buses stopping on a highway. That's like and everybody on the planning board knows that Eric's crazy about that. And so when a developer comes and I say,
why would you want to have buses stopping on a highway?
So if you have a subdivision on 15501 and there's 12 or 15 houses on it, the policy is going to be that the bus is going to stop at the end of their road on 15501.
So there's not even a
right, because it's not required. And so that's what I want them to have to pull in and everything, and it's not a requirement now, and it drives me nuts because I don't ever want to sign off on anything where a kid has the potential for getting hurt. I don't think we pay enough attention on 15501 to stop school buses. And so, anyways, that's neither here nor there. My point is that we all have our little projects, and the other one with mine is connectivity. So, I have some YouTube videos out. My most popular YouTube videos are landlocked land. Everybody's really concerned about landlocked land.
I thought yours was the most popular was about the Yeti.
No, not about the Yeti. No.
Well, what's that?
Landlocked land.
Landlocked land.
Big Hole was popular too. I don't know why. Everybody was concerned about Big Hole, but
I think if I try flying a drone over there, they'd shoot me down.
Yeah, I think they would. So anyways, you get a subdivision approved and you'll have another piece of land that doesn't have public road access. I am passionate about making the developer stub out and give that person access because we need to clear up these things now. No one intentionally landlocked themselves. It just happened. And when they have that opportunity, it's just...
It makes for weird, makes for a very weird situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyways, very diverse planning board with a lot of different perspectives. Very, very, really, really concerned citizens, and they love their community. And we don't always agree on everything, but I think we all get along. We all respect one another, which is real important. And whatever the county commissioner's done, present company excluded, they did a good job of hiring or appointing some smart people. There are a lot. Those people are studying. They're coming there prepared, which is great. But the biggest issue that we have is this SB 382, which back in December of 24. They passed a bill that Cooper actually vetoed, but then it had a veto
Senate majority
override. Yep. And what this is it forbids downzoning on properties. So to give a real crude example, like if you had something that was zoned R1, where it was like a 1 acre minimum, and a municipality came in and said, okay, now you're R5, you've stripped that landowner of some potential value, what they can do with the property. And so that's considered it's almost like a de facto eminent domain. Eminent domain.
R1 goes from one thing on one piece of property versus R5, which is 5.
No. Well, it depends. Every municipality has its different codes or whatever, but like R1 here could mean 1 house per acre, and R5 could mean 1 house per 5 acres.
Okay.
So if you changed it from 1 acre to 5 acre, you've greatly reduced the value of, you've greatly reduced the development potential,
right,
and you've taken development potential away from that land seller, and now their property's not worth as much.
And that would even apply if, let's say, you wanted to have your kid build a house.
Right, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And so SB 382 made that downzoning illegal. It also went back on other municipalities that passed UDOs or some kind of planning plan that said if they went back 18 months before it was approved. So Chatham County had just approved their UDO,
Tell people what a UDO is.
Unified Development Ordinance,
Okay.
Uniform Development Ordinance, and they now that's off the books right now, and so there's been an inclination to wait until it gets overturned in Raleigh. I don't think it's going to get overturned. You know, they're waiting for more people to come in and get rid of that or strip some parts of it. It's hugely expensive for the county to start all over again. Hire another consulting company, start from scratch, make sure that things are compliant with SB 382. So we're in this like purgatory where
And the planning board was involved. I mean,
it was a subcommittee. I was one of the members of the
subcommittee,
subcommittee that helped rewrite this, along with the consulting company and along with the planning department. And a lot of community input too. So a ton of time and effort went into this, and now it's just in suspension. And that's happening to municipalities throughout the state. So that's something that needs to be addressed because I'd like to have my little places for buses to turn in and rework something. So because right now there's stuff that happens and the planning board is like, well, that's not right. Didn't we approve something in the UDO? And then the planning department goes, UDO is not in effect. We're still on the old rules.
Start from scratch.
Yep.